is Kai and Lafayette.
We're two ex-engineers who quit our jobs to pursue the path with heart.
We believe that experience is fundamental to understanding life and its concepts.
So our weekly podcast is filmed and recorded on location from various parts of the world.
It's thanks to our Patreon members like you that we're able to produce this content regularly.
We offer varying benefits based on your pledge amount, from full-length videos of the episodes to weekly streams.
So please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/thetheoryofliving.
Subscribe, leave us some feedback, and please share with your friends.
Yeah, we're live. Episode 20.
Episode 20 already?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. If you've made it this far, you are a trooper, because it has been a work in progress, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
But we're here. We're at our home, currently in Ao Nung, which is in the province of Krabi, in Thailand.
Yes.
And speaking of Thailand, what's our topic for today, Kai?
Thailand.
Wow, okay, that was so predictable. Anybody could have guessed that.
Yeah, obviously we talked about Thailand a little bit last time. We were talking about climbing, right? Episode 19 and 18 a little bit because of our dear friend Pong, City Monk Pong. And we haven't been here that long, but I think it's quite a good time to talk about Thailand in general. So we're not going to really get into specifics and details too much. That's going to be, left for next time.
Later down the road.
Yeah, when we have more experience with it.
But right now, like you're saying, we have a more general overview. And maybe you've already seen some of our vlog episodes on YouTube in Bangkok. Yeah. And then also, again, the interview with Hong there as well, which was in Chiang Mai. So we're just going to do a cursory overview of Thailand and our experience so far with it.
Yes.
Because it's pivotal right now to try to encourage people to come to travel to Thailand. Restrictions are loosening up, but a huge part of Thailand's economy is purely tourism.
Yeah.
So we need people like you and ourselves to come and support and help the locals as well, so they can keep thriving and we're able to explore their beautiful country and explore all the good food.
Do you care too much about these local people because you have a girlfriend already?
I don't have a girlfriend. This guy right here. What are you talking
You look so genuine there, so I was wondering.
Yeah, she's pulling the strings behind me. Tell them to come. No, it's just, everybody here, as you know, obviously has been so gracious and kind and going out their way.
They're kind to us genuinely, right?
Yeah, to be helpful, and they want every, foreigner to have a good time and tourists and things of that nature. And you and I are a little bit different because we're going to be staying long term here.
Yeah.
So I think we feel more, pressure's not the right word, but we feel more of a responsibility to try and help contribute and to, conform more into society. And again, we want to help those that have helped us. Right. Even if they haven't helped us, that, still worthy of help.
Yes. I mean, they're just saying that if you want to really know about a person, who they really are, see how they are at their worst, right? I mean, during this time, obviously tourism is getting back up, but pretty bad, right? So people, Rubik, right, his name? This Indian restaurant that we go pretty often because their curry is unbelievable. What was the curry that we had in Bangkok? The famous curry.
I don't remember.
I forgot the name. I mean, you guys can see our Bangkok Part 2, Chinatown. That curry was good. At the time, I gave that curry 9 out of 10 because of the curry that I gave 6 out of 10 in Phoenix. But now I have to adjust all them back because the curry, especially red curry and masaman curry, unbelievable. I'll give probably 9.5 or 10, or I'll just give like a 9 actually out of 10 just because I have a lot to more explore. But
the scale's not linear, by the way.
Exactly. Yes. So I give Rubik's curry, papaya. Shout out to papaya. And then he has multiple restaurants. We'll probably get to it. But because of the reason, I give that 9. And the curry in Bangkok, which is very popular, probably 6. And then curry in Phoenix, 3. I'm sorry.
And these are all good. That's the funny thing, because they're all more than edible.
Yes.
Even the one in Phoenix.
Of course.
Just very sweet, way less nuance, very much in your face. kind of the American type of curry you'd expect, or the
Yes.
twist on curry from an American to make it more palatable, more digestible. But yeah, like you're saying, I mean, have we had a bad meal here yet? I know Chiang Mai, we didn't have a single bad meal.
No.
We haven't had a bad meal here.
I had a bad meal in Phuket for sure, but also great meal. But here, Chiang Mai and Krabi, we haven't had any bad meals yet.
Nah.
Not yet.
Which is amazing, because you would think, again, with the hit to tourism, that they would have a harder time, like, getting, supplies and things of that nature to produce high quality food. But everything's fresh, made to order, and still, frankly, just phenomenal service and delicious.
Right. Also, the reason we brought it up, Rubik and his restaurant, is that also the reason I said that currently he said that the tourism is about 5% of what it used to be during this time, which is peak time, up to April, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, but still people are very kind to us, very genuine, try to help us as soon as we say that, tourists as well, but also we tell them that, we're going to stay here for a while. They try to help us to get a bike, all that information. They're so kind. Even their economy is not doing great, right? So that's what I wanted to say, that a lot of people here are genuinely kind, very nice. So if you value the quality of relations and connections in a community, Krabi or anywhere in Thailand, I can speak for everywhere because I haven't been there. But at least the Krabi and Chiang Mai seem to be a very good place to be.
Yeah, it's just the Thai people are naturally a very genuine bunch. And I'm sure, there's always going to be the misfits and the people that stand out, and people will have poor experiences, being taken advantage of, things of that nature. That happens in every country. It does. But if you're willing to engage with people here, then they're more than happy to engage with you. So you just got to put some effort, like any relationship anywhere in the world, and you'll be paid back tenfold. And like you said, there's several people that have gone out of their way to help us out with procuring a bike, finding a place to live, general tourism, general stuff in nature. I mean, the pharmacists we met do. We were saying, every day we're going to go see you, say hello, have a new word in Thai. And just extremely helpful. Spoke perfect English. And that's another wonderful thing, is a lot of people here speak English pretty well in the tourist areas. And even when you're not, we live in a time period where we have Google Translate and all these other functions that I literally don't have to speak any Thai. You don't have to speak any English, and yet we still have a conversation. And we've gone through that several times. And one of the best benefits so far of being here, I think, is the immigration office.
Right.
The gentlemen, the women working in the immigration office here, specifically in Krabi Town, are exquisite, very kind, very helpful, and
making jokes.
Just laughing, having a good time. And usually when you go to a government office anywhere in the world, it's pretty rough. Most people are not there because they're trying to have something new or something exciting to their lives. It's because they have to be there.
Right.
And it's difficult. It's hard to communicate. Most of the time, the immigration offices are dealing with foreigners that don't speak any Thai. Don't understand the culture, the nuance, or all the application process, all the documents you need. There at Krabi, they're literally doing the photocopies for us. They're explaining the process.
Right.
They're saying, oh, don't worry about it. We'll get it fixed for you. Just, again, it goes to show you that there's a willingness from a lot of the Thai people to try and get tourism back to where it was.
Right.
Because it's their livelihood. And it's not the livelihood of the immigration office, but it's helpful for them as well.
Right.
So I just can't speak highly enough and praise the Thai people highly enough for their friendliness.
Yeah, for sure. And then also, not to mention, their tasks usually at government office, especially immigration office here, their jobs are very repetitive. Nothing to really enjoy. Obviously it depends on personality, but also that's what makes it so hard, right? That's what makes it so hard to be friendly or bright at workplace. But they are There are a lot of them are very helpful, very kind, making jokes. At least here at Krabi immigration office, we what was that, Chiang Mai when we went to immigration?
Bangkok initially.
Yeah,
where we were turned away.
mm-hmm.
And then again in Chiang Mai, we went.
Right.
We had the volunteers that spoke English,
right.
so they were helpful as well.
Mm-hmm.
Still a bit more confusing there, but again, people were generally trying to be helpful.
Yeah,
Mostly the volunteers.
right.
But then here, there's no volunteers, and it's purely a Thai staff, and
Mm-hmm.
incredibly helpful. I think it helps when you live near an island,
Yeah,
or near a beach in those types of climates,
Mhm.
because generally beach towns are just a little more laid back, a little
Mhm.
more chill. I really get that vibe here. So I think that just kind of breathes into the interactions.
I think so, because we just went to Phuket. Came back yesterday. We were there for 3 days. Obviously, was not long enough to experience everything there, but still felt like it's a big city. I missed Krabi when I was there. Just the calmness, that relaxed atmosphere. Beaches right there. All the restaurants along the water. It feels very relaxed, calm. Don't get me wrong. There are bars, and I wouldn't say that's a club, but places you can party for sure.
Yeah.
We went to this Upbeat bar.
Upbeat bar, yep.
Yeah.
Off the main drag.
Yeah, Wednesday night was popping.
Yeah, it was crazy. And it was mostly Thai, which was nice to see.
Mhm.
So it
Yes,
seemed like a
that's
local
the place
bar
to
that had
go.
live music in Thai,
Mhm.
a couple pool tables, drinks, and people just having a good time and enjoying themselves, which
Yeah.
was, it's wonderful to see, especially when it's not foreigners,
Mhm.
because then people are still, despite all this negativity economically speaking,
Mhm.
still can find ways to have entertainment and enjoyment.
Mhm.
And I think that's, again, just a life affirming thing.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful.
No.
It makes you want to enjoy your life.
Yeah. Exactly. Also, interesting things about Thailand is that I thought I knew a lot about Thailand because I grew up in Korea. I heard a lot about Southeast
Typical
Asia.
Korean arrogance.
Yeah, that exists, by the way. Let me talk about it.
Oh, really?
Because, this, I think, exists in general in any country, that people view lighter skin more associated with more the class, and then, you know what I mean? Like, there's people tend to look down on them and tend to associate them with low class, ghetto, and things like that, right?
Oh, you're saying the stigma attached to
Yeah,
pigmentation
skin
of your
color,
skin.
yes.
So the darker you are, the more typically
Right.
negative.
Right. And if you know anything about biology, or a simple fact that has to do with just pigmentation, which is exactly what the pigment melanin, right? Has nothing to do with it, right? But even Thailand and in Korea, that exists. So Korean people, as you know, most of them are have light skin just because of the weather condition. Obviously, indigenous people in Thailand, they are darker because the country is so close to the equator, just 15 degrees above the equator, the tropical climate.
Mm-hmm.
But they have lighter skinned people because of they're of Chinese descendant. So Korean people look down on them. If you they make jokes like, "Oh, you look like South Asian person," like something like that. Like that's a joke. Like means that you look not cool. Something like that. So they're stupid in my opinion. You just don't know simple biology fact.
Yeah.
But funny enough, that exists within the country as well.
Even with other Koreans, but with different pigment
here.
skin. Oh, no,
Here in Thailand, yeah, they lighter skinned women are more considered more attractive than darker skinned women, because I think it's due to class and snobbery, basically, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's all funny, but funny and just something that we have to really, get rid of eventually. But unfortunately, I see a lot here, even in Thailand. I thought I wouldn't really experience that in person, but I have seen that a lot. Experienced that
I mean,
a lot.
the beauty standard is so varied depending where you go. But like you said, pigment of your skin being lighter is typically seen as more beautiful traditionally in a lot of these places. I mean, you go into the pharmacy, you'll find skin whitening cream.
Yeah.
Which you've seen it in France, you've seen it in Korea, you see it here. It's kind of amazing that they've still held on to this antiquated idea about what beauty is, because you and I would both agree that, I mean, there's beauty in all shades and pigment of skin, and
well, that's different from what you told me.
Yeah, you're making me sound like a racist off camera. There's only one true beautiful skin color.
I'm just kidding.
It's rainbow, buddy.
Yes, you're right, though, right? I mean, we all agree on that. Especially skin color. Has nothing to do with beauty, in my opinion. It has to do more with how the woman carries herself.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, yeah, beauty is absolutely something that is more than just physical appearance. It's, again, like you said, it's how you carry yourself. It's how you interact with others. Personality. There's so many things that constitute beauty.
Absolutely.
And it's an unfortunate byproduct of specific cultures and civilization that we create a beauty standard and that we can only see beauty within that lens or through that lens. So we kind of limit ourselves to actually experiencing beauty when we have such a fixated idea of what constitutes it. I can no longer see something outside of that as beautiful. So talk about like reducing my world and my reality. And it's purely by my thought process and the ideologies I hold. Like we talk about all the time here, that all these embedded values can affect our ways and the way we interact with life and the paths we decide to take. That may not serve us at all.
Yeah.
It's just hard to see. And we all suffer from this. You and I even have this in some regards and other ways that maybe we're aware of or unaware of, but we should be constantly trying to re-educate ourselves in these matters based on experience and then, of course, empirical data when applicable. But again, something we talk about all the time, we need to go from experience to do it.
Right, absolutely. And also, the one thing that we cannot skip when it comes to Thailand, foods here, right?
So good.
Because I didn't have much expectation when I came here. Just because only thing that I knew about Thai foods were pad Thai.
Wait, that's Thai?
Thai curry, just a few things. Clearly just ignorant, right? I didn't know anything about Thai food, just other than those common things that people know around the world.
I mean, I was here 4 or 5 years ago, and I had a similar experience where I didn't really have anything that was like mind-blowing. I guess that's because I didn't.
Why do you think that is? You were here for, long enough.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because it was just like visiting mostly touristy places, and I would order different things. Yeah. But again, maybe because there was just so much tourism at the time that there was maybe not as much attention on quality of food, or the places I just happened to go weren't the next level places because they were closer to the beaches, things of that nature. Whereas this time, obviously, we've gone on the off-beaten path. To try many different things. And while we haven't had anything necessarily bad, we've definitely had things that have been way better than the other things.
Right.
So I'm very happy for the first time to feel like I'm going to a foreign country and the food 9 times out of 10 is going to be delicious. Yeah. Whereas my experience in other places, like the food's different. It's not bad, but it's not like mind-blowing. But here I can definitely say the curry has been life-altering.
I know.
I love curry now.
I know. Like I said, I've had so many different curries: Indian, Korean, Japanese, slightly all different. And then I came here. I mean, before this in Phoenix, that was my first time actually trying Thai curry, and that was even mind-blowing. Wow, this is absolutely different from all of the curries that I had tried. And then I had a curry here, Bangkok, right? Chinatown, famous curry. It was good, but it was, like I said, at the time I gave 9 just because it was different, and it was not. There was nothing about too overpowering in the taste profile. But then I had curry here, and I realized, okay, all those things are just not even comparable to this high quality curry. And I think there are a couple of things that I can talk about when it comes to Thai foods. One, subtlety. I think it's throughout all the Thai foods, if they're good, considered good. What I mean by that is that a lot of good places in America, even in the U.S., they have like very strong flavor among all others. If it is sweet, very sweet. The pastries and cakes, very sweet. I mean, one thing is just dominant over all others. But here, even the things that are supposed to be sweet, slightly, subtly sweet, but good enough. Like, it's not short, you know what I mean? Like, very good. Like, I love that. Like, they have moderacy in their food. Next thing about it, same context, the portions are so small. I mean, I shouldn't say so small. Portions are just moderate, just good enough. Yes, sometimes when we're super hungry, we have to have 2 meals, but it's good enough. It's never too small, never too large. Let's be honest, like American foods are too goddamn huge, right?
Yeah.
But their portions are just enough. Like you can never overeat it with just one meal.
Yeah.
Unless you have like multiple meals.
Oh yeah, it would be very difficult to overeat here if you have any type of moderate exercise.
Yeah.
And you get that because you can walk everywhere here, which is interesting because most people don't walk anywhere.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think the portion size is refreshing to see because you and I, we moderate and modulate our food based on our fitness goals, health goals, longevity, blah, blah, blah. So we're already in the habit of doing that. But it's absolutely very nice to go out and not have to worry about, is that going to be too much food?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to take home food. I just want to be able to eat what's in front of me. And you never think about ordering another meal unless you're starving, or you never think about, is this going to be too much? Am I going to overeat today? You just order your meal, you eat it, and you feel satiated.
Yeah.
You feel full. You feel good. And even if you want dessert, like you said, there's a subtle sweetness to it that keeps you coming back for more.
Yeah.
But again, you don't get that huge sugar rush and then the crash that follows. Typically, with what you would get somewhere in America or maybe some other countries that...
Come on, America.
Pull it together. You could do this. But yeah, I find that very enticing when I go out to eat. That I can have a dessert that's not going to break the bank.
Yeah.
As far as like calorie count, health, or financially speaking. It's very nice.
Yeah. I think that aligns with their personalities too. Thai people's that moderacy. They're not, maybe there are some, but from my experience, they're not really greedy, about anything. I think that translates to their food culture as well. Seems to be.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us this week. We hope you found some value in this episode.
Please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/The Theory of Living.
Subscribe, leave us feedback, and share us with your friends.
Get out there and design a theory that calls you to experience.
We'll see you next week. Thanks.